This Bulls team are deep. The Bulls suffered their first loss against the Knicks, and then they bounced back in dramatic fashion against the Sixers. Can they continue this form? Are they finally being given some respect? And will Coby returning upset the flow? All this and more right after this.
It's time to see red.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to another See Red UK Chicago Bulls chat with me, Neill, where sleep is optional but loving the Bulls isn't. The Bulls are 6-1 and officially top of the East right now. Who would have thought this would be the way that the season would start and how it would pan out so far? But here we are. Unbelievable. It's been exciting, it's been enjoyable, it's been fun, it's been tense, but it's been winning basketball. And if you believe in this Bulls team and what they're doing, make sure you hit that like and hit the subscribe button. So what a start, especially with Ayo Dosunmu missing the last couple of games. He's expected to miss the next game as well against the Bucks. And that's the first of back-to-back. So apparently he will be traveling with the team. At least that's the current information that's out there. So I would expect to maybe see him play in the Cavs game. He could still very well play in the Bucks game, even though he is expected not to. But I would think they will give him that extra day, and we could see him suiting up for the game against the Cavs. We've also yet to see Coby White play this season, and Zach Collins is still expected to see a couple of weeks away from returning to the game and to training. So we aren't at full strength. And how exciting is that? This team is not at full strength and they are winning. Not only are they winning in style. They are winning some games emphatically, some games where they are just showing that resolve and that tenacity, just not to give up, not to back down. And no more so than in the last game against the Sixers, when They were suffering the worst quarter loss at the end of the first. They were 24 points behind for the vast majority of the first, second, and even into the third quarter. They couldn't seem to chip away. I mean, it was beginning to look like that the game was just lost to them, but they never gave up. Josh Giddey was shouting and directing from the sideline and from the court, really showing that he's becoming that leader that this Bulls team have been lacking and really, really needing. He's a floor general and he's found a voice, which is just so important and a big part of why this team is doing so well. And I know I got quite excited in my last video, but I do have to warn you that if this Bulls team continue to win the way they are, then it's only going to get worse. Winning basketball is always going to be fun basketball, but there's just something special feeling about this team and the way it's being done and the way it's technically kind of come out of nowhere, really. So the big question right now is sustainability, and if the Bulls can sustain this level of play. I'm here to tell you that they absolutely can do that, and this is why. They are doing it by committee on both sides of the ball. They are working together as a unit, regardless of which five are on the floor at any one time. They are working together on defense. They are hustling. They are playing with a belief that if they put enough pressure on, that they can stop the ball, they can stop attacks, and they can turn games around if they are down, or they can keep the pressure on if they are winning. Offensively, it's all been about Josh Giddey and his control of the game. He has been leading this team. He has been feeding the ball. He has been scoring the ball. But he's been getting, and this is the thing about a player like Josh Giddey, is he has been getting everybody else involved. He is that true kind of point guard that takes the thinking away for other players. He makes it happen for them, so all they need to do is their part. And that really has led to an awful lot of the success of this team. So the great thing is that because everybody is involved and everybody is making a difference, there's no high expectancy, even though Josh is obviously the linchpin. There's no high expectancy or pressure on only one or two players. It is a team, and it is exactly that. And that's what AK said he believed in, right? And I'll get to that later. But so with this kind of group, and with Billy Donovan prepared to go into the bench, this is creating this synergy among the team that is producing such winning plays, games, and this belief. It's almost like a next man up mentality, except for it's every man up, and it's working. So like I say, Josh is playing like an all-star or even a superstar at the moment. He's averaging a near triple-double. But it's not just your bog standard 10, 10 and 10. It's 23.1 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and 9.1 assists. He is so close to averaging a triple-double right now. It's insane, especially with the amount of, I suppose, limited turnovers that he's been having. Yeah, he's had a few games where he's got 3 or 4 turnovers. But, I mean, he has been keeping his turnovers low considering how much the ball is in his hands and how much of the offense runs through him. But even if this were to drop off slightly, I wouldn't expect it to drop off in a massive kind of a way, to the point where the remaining players aren't capable of picking up at least some of that slack. I would think that if Josh was to score a few less points, that the points would be available there through other players. And you know, by that happening, if that is running through him, that offense is running through him, then that's probably going to push up his assist numbers anyway. So he'll end up getting closer to averaging that triple-double. Billy Donovan seems to have found a way to utilize more of the players. So he's going deeper into his bench, like I said. And this takes the pressure of fatigue away from the team. And this enables them to keep the foot down on the gas pedal, or on the accelerator, and keep pressurizing the opposition. And this is at both ends of the floor again. The way they can switch and rotate on defense now because everybody's putting in maximum effort is incredible, and it's also that little bit more sustainable than it would have been in the past when Billy would only go to 6, 7, 8 players that were getting major minutes. Now that time is being spread out amongst these core 9 to 10 players who are youthful players anyway for the most part, apart from Vooch, which is enabling them to keep the pressure high. And that's really, really working for them. So I really credit Billy in his choices that way. Players like Herter, P. Will, Trey Jones, Jalen Smith, they've all really stepped up as well. Trey Jones has been starting in Coby's absence, but everybody else is coming off the bench. And they have, Trey Jones has fallen back a little bit in the last couple of games, but this is my whole point. When a player kind of drops off a little bit, it's not that big a deal as it would be for a team that is built around one single or two single superstars, where if they drop off, the whole thing falls apart. With this team and the way it's playing by committee, it doesn't matter as much as it would in those kinds of setups, because it's that, like I say, it's that next man up, fill the gap, plug the holes. And that's what they're doing. It's a real team effort, a real team concept, and it's working. They're also playing with a belief now. Now, they may or may not have come into the season feeling that way off the back of last season, but you can see it's there now. This tenacity, as I say, to not give up. They always feel, you can see it in them. Even in the Knicks game that they lost, you can see in them that they believe that if they keep plugging away, that they could potentially pull out a win. And that belief in themselves and that belief to just keep pushing forward is what's got them to 6-1. I mean, that Sixers game, if they hadn't continued to believe in themselves, a season, 2 seasons ago, this team would have put their heads down and they would have taken that as a scheduled loss. That didn't happen. They looked like they didn't matter what they were doing. They just couldn't get back into that game. But they chipped away and chipped away and chipped away. And eventually in that fourth quarter, back end of the third, but especially into the fourth quarter, that lead suddenly started to narrow. And The Bulls took the lead with 3.2, I believe, seconds left on the clock when Vooch hit that game-winning shot, and that was the only lead of the game, and the only lead they need is the lead at the end when that final whistle blows. Bulls win. The wraparound pass in that game as well. Can I just say that if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. And if you've only seen it once or from one angle, you need to get it from every angle.
Carter sets up a screen. Giddey races to the basket, fires it out. Vucevic the shot.
Vucci Main for three. Vucci Main steps up again. The grizzled veteran steps up and hits the biggest shot of his time. Game time.
That wraparound pass by Josh Giddey, which, by the way, the play before that, Josh had tried something similar. The defense collapsed on him and he kind of lost the ball. So to have that level of confidence to go back and say, no, I know this can work, I'm going to do it again. He jumped into the air. He was actually jumping under the basket going out of bounds. The defense collapsed on him. And that whip around pass with the left hand is offhand, that distance to put it straight into the shooting pocket of Nikola Vucevic, where all he needed to do was just rise up and shoot the ball. He didn't need to think about it. He didn't need to get the ball into position. It was on the money, just like the shot that Vooch put up there. I can't take any credit away from Vooch. He needed to hit the shot. He hit the shot. Absolute ice in his veins. But off the back of that pass, that entire play between the two of them, which was drawn up, I presume, by Billy Donovan, who called a timeout just before that play, was sensational and game-winning. So, talking about Nikola Vucevic then, this guy who was, let's face it, pretty much awful in the preseason, he has been a star this season. He is playing with a career season so far. And if he continues to do this and keep this up, I don't want him to go anywhere else. Stay with Chicago. He made a statement saying that he wanted to, in the back end of his career, he wanted to be playing winning basketball. Well, this is winning basketball. Vooch understands the system. Vooch has developed his game in a way that it works within the system. It's actually suiting his game a hell of a lot better. He's looking energetic. I was making jokes about him drinking out of the fountain of Vooch, the fountain of youth. Well, it's beginning to look more and more that way because Vooch is, I mean, I've never seen him making as many dive cuts to the basket, dive attacks to the basket, straight down the middle, spin moves. He has been electric for Vooch's standards, and he's putting effort in on the defensive end as well. Okay, he's never going to be a rim blocker. He's not a big blocker of the ball. But his positioning has been great, his closeouts have been great, and his rebounds have been what we would always expect from Vooch. Vooch is playing absolutely brilliant basketball so far this season. Matas Buzelis, I was raving about him at the start of the season, and he's kind of dropped off a little bit. Now, he's still playing very, very well for a sophomore player, but it just looks like his elevation has slowed slightly, which is okay. Look, slow and steady wins the race, right? But we just need to see a little bit more from Buzelis. I still really highly rate him. I still think he is the face of the future of this franchise. Don't get me wrong. But I do think that we just need to see a little bit more from him. He's kind of got himself a couple of times into a bad position with fouls. And he's been given quick hooks on a couple of occasions by Billy. But the important thing is he believes in himself. And he has stepped up after getting those hooks and played really well. Like in that Sixers game, he had a really poor first half. And there were a couple of times where he stepped on the floor for literally seconds and Billy pulled him again because he just made mistakes. But he came back out in the second half, came back out especially in that fourth quarter, and he made a massive impact on the game as well, both defensively and offensively. And that's what we need to see from a player in their second year, especially one with such high hopes. I'm sure he's going to be a huge part of this going forward as he continues to develop. And of course, he is very, very young. So the Bulls play away tonight to the Bucks at time of recording, and this will be another test as the Bucks have found form and will have the powerhouse that is Giannis Antetokounmpo to contend with. So I just think, but with this style of defense, I just think that they have a great chance of locking the Bucks attack down. Now, you're not going to stop the likes of Giannis, But what you can do is you can limit some of what he can do. And I think the way the Bulls are playing defense, they've got a great chance of being able to do that. And that just puts the pressure on the remaining players around him, his supporting cast. And that's where I think we can take it. That's where I think we can get it. Because, look, let Giannis try and do everything, limit his success, and force him to involve others more. And that's then where I think this defense by committee can really, really make things happen and take this game. I'm just worried that it could lead to a little bit of tiredness going to the first back-to-back. This would be the first time that we have seen a back-to-back game this season, and therefore we don't know how sustainable this level of pressure is on both ends of the floor for this Bulls team. I'm hoping that they have enough youth and energy, and that they can do it, that they can bring it back to back. But we will have to wait and see. It is against the Cavs. The Cleveland Cavaliers haven't had the best start to the season, but you kind of get the feeling that they're just not giving it 100% yet. They're not going to try and burn out like they did last season. What were they, 14-0 start last season, I believe. And as we saw, they burnt out towards the back end of the season. They could very well just be playing it clever, not giving it everything from the start of the season, but having that belief that they will be able to get there and then have more left in the tank at the back half of the season, the NBA season going into the playoffs. So you kind of get the feeling that this Cavs team could find form at any point. Let's just hope that it's not tomorrow night against the Chicago Bulls. So with the way they're playing and the way Giddey has been playing at an elite level, and don't get me wrong, it is elite the way he is playing. He's been finally impacting the perception of the Bulls and Josh Giddey around the league. And damn right it has, and damn right it should. This Bulls team are getting credited by various pundits and media talking heads around the NBA, and I am all here for it. It is about time. There have been statements of apology to Josh Giddey, and I credit anybody that has been big enough to admit that they got it wrong and to give him his flowers. Now, I just want to add to that a little, because there are plenty as well who have said that Nikola Vucevic was cooked, and I expect those apologies to start filtering in very soon too. And there's another apology, and this is one that I need to make myself. AK, you had a point. I apologise for my lack of patience, my lack of belief, and my lack of understanding. I criticised you for your lack of direction. And while I still think that this was the case for a while as you tried to find your way back from the first failed effort of Lonzo, DeMar, and Zach, you have certainly found a direction now. It's beginning to look like our plan is working, or your plan is working. This team is built up of 9 to 10 good players with the potential for 1 or 2 more of them to evolve into stars or even superstars. They're young, they're building something special, and I'm getting closer to falling back into the belief system of in AK we trust. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm definitely heading that way. This team is just so much fun. It's just so much fun to watch play basketball. I haven't had this much fun in years, getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning to watch these games. So the other question that has been coming about is what happens when Coby White returns? Now, personally, I don't think it's going to be an issue, and that is because Coby is more than capable of playing off the ball. He and Giddey learnt to mesh well and play together in the last 20 or so games at the back half of last season, and this equated to a winning formula. And why would that be any different now when they're already winning? I genuinely think he's going to merge seamlessly with this team, and while it could result in maybe Giddey getting a few less buckets, I think it could very well increase his numbers in the assist column and put him even more in line to get more triple-double games as a result. At the moment, he's just shy of that double figure, and with the likes of Coby White, who can catch and shoot, get into a position, hit the 3 ball. We know he's a microwave scorer. He can get hot at any point. that could very well benefit Josh Giddey in that way. But that's not what Josh Giddey cares about. That's not what I care about. What I care about is wins and losses. And surely with a team that's already playing this way and already managing to get wins, that can only increase the chances of more wins going forward. So let's hope this team continues to build on this fun winning style and give us more enjoyment this season. Just quick, need to acknowledge one thing I forgot to say, and that is in regards to the figures and the numbers for Josh Giddey, he did seem impressed when he was informed of the fact that back-to-back triple-doubles, which is what he accumulated in the last 2 games, back-to-back triple-doubles in a Bulls uniform has only been done by one other Bulls player in the history of this franchise, and that one player being Mr. Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So that is absolutely the best company for you to be able to keep. And fair play to Josh Giddey for being there. He is now 3rd clear as most triple doubles as a Bull. The only people in front of him now are Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. I believe Jordan is on 28 off the top of my head. Don't shoot me if I've got that slightly wrong. And Scottie Pippen is currently only 2 above Josh Giddey. So I fully expect Josh Giddey to overtake Scottie Pippen this season and become the number 2 all-time holder of triple doubles for the Chicago Bulls. Whether or not he will overtake Michael Jordan this season, we'll have to wait and see. But I certainly think that eventually that is exactly what he's going to do. So like I say, let's hope they continue to give us plenty of enjoyment as we go forward. In the meantime, I've been Neill. You'll find me at CRedUK or at Neill CRedUK. Until next time, wherever you are in the world, see red, bleed red.